Welcome to matrix multiplication. There is a little teaser on the Matrix film. That is the intro music. So please do go and watch that film if you haven't already. You'll really enjoy it. Okay, so matrix multiplication. Here we go. This is a little bit different to it. It's not as easy as adding and subtracting, but it is very procedural. And we're going to start with an application here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick some football teams. So I'm going to, my team, Watford here. I'm going to put a secondary team, Chelsea. And let's just pick 3 teams. I could do more, but 3 will just make it a little bit easier. And then along the top, I'm going to say number of wins they got, number of draws, and number of losses. And what I'm going to do here is create a matrix of numbers. So if Watford, let's say Watford won 5 matches, drawn 2, lost 1. I wish, but let's just imagine that's true. Let's say Chelsea won 4, drawn 0, lost 2, and Fulham won 1, drawn 3, and lost 5. Okay, now next to that, I'm going to do a secondary matrix which tells us what value of point, like what each point is worth. And I've got to write it in this specific order through notation. So 3, 1, 0. What that means is the first lump is this is the points for a win. Points for a win, a draw, and a loss. Anyone who follows football, you get 3 for a win, 1 for a draw, and 0 for a loss. Now, just before we work out what that is, which effectively we're going to be timesing these matrices together, this first matrix is a 3 by 3 because it's a square 3 by 3 matrix, and the second matrix there, that is a 3 by 1 matrix. Okay, that's going to be useful in a minute when we talk about multiplication, because you can only multiply if the matrices have the correct dimensions. So what the matrix I'm going to end up with is the total points for each team. Okay, so this will be total points, and you can see hopefully that you could and do some computer programming and program something that could calculate this very quickly. So if you can remember how this works, you'll remember how multiplication works for matrices. So the first thing I do, I'd multiply, if I want Watford on the top, so it's going to be number of wins times 3. So it's going to be 5 times 3 plus number of draws times 1. So 2 times 1 plus number of losses times 0, so 1 times 0. Okay, just going to make that a little bit bigger. That is going to equal 15, and it's 17. Okay, so that first element is 17. The next, if I rub this out, so for Chelsea, I'll do exactly the same procedure. 4 times 3 plus 0 times 1 plus 2 times 0, and that's going to equal 12 points for Chelsea. And then for Fulham, I'll do exactly the same. 1 times 3 plus 3 times 1 plus 5 times 0 there. Okay, and that will tell me Fulham, which is 6 points. Okay, just rub that out. That was a 3 and a 5 before I forget. And that there is multiplied. So if you multiply those two matrices together, you will get a matrix which is just 17, 12, 6. Now the dimensions of that matrix are 3 by 1. Okay. So that is matrix multiplication. We're going to look at a few more examples in a minute. But you can only multiply. You can only multiply matrices when these two numbers here are equal. Okay, so when these two dimensions are equal. Okay, so e.g., if I had something like 2, 1, 3, 4, and then 3, 2, 1, I wanted to multiply those together, just because they're touching each other, we can imply that means multiplication. This matrix is a 2 by 2. This matrix is a 3 by 1. This cannot be multiplied together, okay? So that cannot be multiplied together because these two are not equal. Right, let's look at another example. So let's imagine I've got, so e.g. 2, A is 2, 1, 3, 4, and B is -3, 2. Find A, B. So if you multiply A to A and B, okay, so let's just check the dimensions here. So A, if I write them in that order, now this is the difference of multiplying matrices to just normal numbers. The order matters, okay, the order is really important here. This is a 2 by 2, this is a 2 by 1, so yes, it's going to multiply because these two are the same. And also, these outside dimensions, that is going to be the resulting matrix. Resulting matrix, okay? So, I know it's going to be a 2 by 1, so I can just put 2 by 1. Now, the first element, it's always row times column, so it's going to be 2 times -3 plus 1 times 2. That's going to be the first, that's going to be there in the first bit. Second one's going to be 3 times -3 plus 4 times 2. And if we work that out, that's going to be -4 on the top, and on the bottom it's going to be -1 there. So I get a matrix, my answer is -4, -1. Now at this stage I'm going to show you how to use the calculator, because some of the exercises you need to know how to use the calculator for. So to do that, you need to, let's just reset the whole thing. Okay, now you need to go into matrix mode. So probably my favorite mode. So we go into, where is it? Number 4, matrix mode. I can only store 4 matrix, but let's store the first one. So mat A, number of rows 2, number of columns 2, and I just input it. So 2, and press equal to get to the next one. 1, 3, 4. Okay, right, that's saved. That's saved. So option. Okay, and I can go to edit matrix now, and I can pick another matrix. So number 2, number of rows 2, number of columns 1. So this is going to be -3 and 2. Okay, and I can clear this. Now I can go option mat A multiplied by option mat B, 4, and it should give me -4, -1. And you see there the matrix, which is exactly what I want. So you can use your calculator to help you with these multiplications, and always use a check. Okay, so find BA. Well, BA, you might think, oh, it's going to be exactly the same, but you would be wrong, because BA, this dimension is 2 times 1, and that dimension is 2 by 2. These two are different, so no, cannot be done, cannot be computed. And again, if we check on our calculator there, I clear that. If I was to do mat B multiplied by mat A, maths error, dimension error. There you go. So dimension error there. So it cannot be done. Okay. Right. Okay. In general, if we had a matrix A, B, C, D, and multiply it by D, E, F, G, we're going to be left with. Now you might want to pause the video and think about what you get. In the top, it's going to be a 2 by 2, because you've got a 2 by 2 multiplied by 2 by 2. Your resulting matrix will be a 2 by 2. And the top left element will be AD plus BF. AD, BF. Top right element, so basically the top left element is going to be that row times this column, okay? So that's the top left. Top right will be the top. Make that blue. The top right will be top times right hand side. So that's going to be A, E, add B, G. That's the top right. If we go pink, bottom left will be bottom and then the left hand column. So that's going to be C, and it's CD. Oh, that's annoying. I've called that CD. I'm going to change that letter to an H there. So it's going to be CD, add HF, and that's the pink one. And then the bottom right, if we go orange, will be bottom and then right hand side. So it's going to be C, E plus H, G. Okay, that's the F. So that's how you work it out in general, and you can always use numbers on your calculator to help you there. But sometimes they'll use algebra to sort of force you into using something different. To force you doing it manually, sorry. Okay, so what I want you to do now is exercise 6b, and I want you to do the odds from, I think it's page 101 to page 103. Okay, and I will speak to you again on Thursday. So enjoy that, guys, and any issues I am on the email. Okay, thanks a lot.